Okay. All right, so today in prenatal, we're gonna go over the arms and the pecs, forearms, hands, the neck, head, and face. So obviously when you are doing this, you can only get half of the body each time, so you'll wanna flip them. So you'll say hello, just normal. Sometimes I like to do the back and then go into the head and neck and arms and then go down to the legs, or start at the legs and then work up. So however you want to. Sometimes someone will come in for like a half-hour prenatal and they'll just want like their neck, shoulders, arms worked. So, all right, so coming in for the drape, you wanna make sure you know where the arm is before you go in to grab for it. And I don't like to undrape too much. The sheet itself is going to stay. Is that your bottom hand?
This is my bottom hand.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like, let me get just your top hand here. So I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna grab at the wrist, kind of like we do with a normal arm drape, and bring it back out. So the beauty of them having this pillow that they're hugging, it pretty much covers everything. So you don't have to super worry about them being exposed in that way. Sorry, my hands are so cold.
It's okay.
So we're gonna be working all of this area here. I might just shove that under just a smidgy poo. As long as, so you're not suffocating, it's fine. So I'm gonna start with the hand, arm, hand, shoulder area. Oh my, this is, you're hot, so it's fine.
Super hot.
Great. We're a perfect combo then. All right, so the arm is out. You're gonna just do some effleurage. This is a great way to get in between the shoulder blade. It kind of pops up a little bit, so might be good to take the camera around to kind of see this. So you can really show, or like get the shoulder up in here. You can really work in between stuff. And then come out. And with this, I like to pull the sheet through like this once I've got the arm up and moving around. Popping elbows. So there are a couple areas on prenatal that you don't really want to squeeze a lot, kind of we talked about holding points on the feet. So the big ones for prenatal on the hands are is like it's a long point long point in Asian, but in here you just don't want to hold it. So that's like the biggest one. Other than that, don't worry about it. I know it's good for headaches, but it's good for headaches because it moves so much energy. So it's one that you just don't want to be like pressing on with the intention of moving a lot of energy. So unless they're ready to pop, then they're like, please press all my points. You're not supposed to point or press. Okay, so she's pretty lubed up. You just want to make sure it's pretty flowy, or able to be pretty flowy. And then you can do your normal kind of petrissage. I like to stand out here holding the wrist. You could potentially get in here and hold like this if you guys wanted to. I think it really depends on how long and how thick their arms are. So if they're, they got real heavy arms, then go ahead and come in like this. And it's kind of like Swedish, where you're holding, supporting the elbow. So just petrissaging. You can flip around. Make sure your cream is out of the way. do everything 3 times. You're not going deep on prenatal. I mean, you can use a good amount of pressure, but you aren't going to be like murdering them. No murdering. Not today. Even if they want you to. It's a liability. For forearm, I step back, hold at the wrist, let the top of the arm kind of rest on the pillow. As long as they don't feel like they have to hold their arm up. And I like to do both sides. A little friction. And then I like to come into the middle of it. And again, this could look a little different depending on how big their arm is. And then for underneath, I like to just do pinch like this and kind of get the hole underneath. I don't usually bend the arm up in any certain way. Just do that a couple times. Reconnect everything. Then we're gonna go into the hands. So I'll let the arm rest on the pillow so you don't have to really hold it much. I like to do individual, in between the individual bones and kind of just friction, kind of petrissage. But really like loosening up the wrist. Sometimes people, when they're pregnant, they have other small children at home. So when that's the case, a lot of times with the Laxton, they can be pretty tight in the shoulders from holding their other baby. So that's fun. Usually they need it. And then, you know, even once you're done with pregnancy, or if you are, sometimes they are in that weird state where they're breastfeeding still and then they get pregnant again. So then they have a very fun posture of like holding a baby for breastfeeding. So that is really gets their shoulders and neck. So usually they really just need this stuff worked. So yeah, so I don't really hang out on anything, just more flowy. All prenatals are just a little bit more flowy. And then when you're done with the arm, reconnect everything. Go ahead and let the arm just kind of chill. Does that feel comfortable? Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna come back to the shoulders. We're gonna go up the shoulders and neck now. So try and move the hair out of the way best you can. And try not to get too much oil in your hair. Well, yeah, massage school now, you're probably used to it.
Yeah.
But, so I like to kind of hook on the shoulder blade and ride between. Is that pressure okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can usually find some knots. It's okay to do a little trigger point. I don't really use my elbows too much. Somewhat on the back, but when it comes to this kind of stuff, you can get the lats pretty good at this angle too. So I like to come up and around in here, and then rotator cuff stuff as well. And then up the neck. So when I come up the neck, I like to do petrissage with my thumb in here. And it's kind of like you're kind of grabbing the whole neck, but I'm really focusing more with my thumb work. And this is a good way to work on necks too if like someone just can't lay on their back. So we've got it nice and lubed up, kind of warmed up. So now we can do some like friction along here. Is that pressure okay?
Yes.
Okay. So I feel like it's really nice because you don't have to press super hard. My other hand just more keeps the hair at bay the best as it can. If you're working on someone with no hair, then you can just kind of softly rest your hand on their head or somewhere. I'm using my thumb and I'm not going very deep. Again, prenatal, we don't go crazy deep. If you're working on someone who's not a prenatal and wants more pressure, you can use your fist, either, or your knuckles, I guess, going up or down. If you wanted to use way more pressure, then go ahead and stack your thumb and do a straight at it kind of deal, which I can't really do from this angle. Maybe I'd use this one. And you can even use your fingertips and support them. I like to do a little vibration if it's super tight. And then also those circles at the suboccipital still feel really nice.